To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making non-believers say, oh.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and welcome to episode 110 of NBA Talk, Playoff Edition. Before I get into the main topic of this episode, oh my God, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna know what I'm gonna be talking about. So I'm gonna talk about the first game from last night, and I'm gonna be talking about the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. I'm gonna admit, as a Heat fan, I got a little concerned right after the first quarter. I got way too nervous right off the jump, and Miami was just playing extremely sloppy. The Celtics were just hitting their shots on all cylinders. They was hitting the perimeter shots. Jason Tatum was killing us. Marcus Smart was killing us. The Miami Heat actually did a pretty decent job on Kemba Walker tonight, and the the second quarter, Miami was just lighting it up. Uh, they were just lighting this up, and Miami managed to come back and tie the game at halftime. And then it was a bit of an adjustment to try to get used to the Celtics team because of how many guys they got that they could shoot the ball. They stretched the floor a lot more than the Milwaukee Bucks did, to tell you the truth. And these guys play a lot harder. These guys don't joke around when it comes to the Boston Celtics, as I've seen in the past, especially in recent years. The Miami Heat did show up on defense though. They did show up on defense though. The game was tight, competitive. It came down to, at one point I thought in the fourth quarter I was getting really nervous because I get really nervous when Jimmy Butler hesitates to shoot the ball a little. Well, in my eyes he looks like he hesitates, but when he shoots it, it's like he shoots it with confidence. So when he hit that corner three, I was hyped. I was like, yeah, we're gonna win. And then when they called that bogus foul that led to a technical free throw, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? And from there on, it was just a straight dogfight. Kemba Walker couldn't buy a basket at one point, and man, that was one of the clutchest blocks. First of all, before I even get to that, the and one that Jimmy Butler got over Jason Tatum, that was clutch as hell. That was clutch as hell. That was clutch as hell, man. And Bam Adebayo got the clutchest block when it comes to blocking a dunk that I've ever seen. That was one of the best blocks that I've ever seen, aside maybe from LeBron's dunk well, not dunk, aside from his block on Andre Iguodala in the NBA Finals. That was one of the best blocks I've seen. That's literally going up there with the two clutchest defensive plays I've seen in a playoff game. Jason Tatum was having himself a game though, so that's why I got pretty scared when he had the ball in his hands. But Miami came down the stretch. They believed in their defense, and it eventually got them to win. I still think Miami is the better team, no matter what you look at when it comes to playoff seedings. But this is going to be a dogfight. This is going to be a dogfight when it comes to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is going to be a dogfight. Now, on to the topic I really want to talk about. 3 words. Oh my God. We just witnessed for one team, we were watching some of the greatest basketball that we've ever seen. Because why? The Denver Nuggets just made history. I don't think we're ever going to see something like this again. You're telling me that the Denver Nuggets, starting from the playoffs, have been down 3-1 twice. They've been down 3-1 twice. And they've came back and won the series twice. And now you're telling me that you're telling me they just did it to the Los Angeles Clippers? I originally had Denver in 6. And I had my doubts when they went down 3-1 because I was like, they can't do this again. I was like, there's no way they could do this again. And and my God, they did it. They did it. Holy crap. I couldn't believe it. Well, I'll tell you right now. Nikola Jokic, best center in the NBA. Jamal Murray has established himself as an elite guard in this league. Mike Malone has solidified himself as a coach in this league. The Denver Nuggets literally just gave the smackdown on the Los Angeles Clippers. Like, I couldn't believe it. The Denver Nuggets played some of the best basketball in this series that I've seen from them. Jamal Murray was a man possessed last night. This man could not miss. This man was just making 3 after 3 after 3. He could not miss. He was just lighting up the Clippers. Like, this was by far embarrassing. Like, and don't hold on. I'm gonna go in on a few on two certain people in just a second. I just want to give more praise to the Denver Nuggets. They played amazing basketball. They played great defense. They had a great game plan. Denver, you gotta give as much credit to the Denver Nuggets as you can, because this was something we're never gonna see again. This is something we're never gonna see again. Seriously. I don't think we're ever going to see 2-3-1 comebacks in consecutive playoff series in basketball again. We thought it was impossible in 2016 when LeBron and the Cavs did it in the NBA Finals. Now we're seeing 3-1 comebacks all over the place. Like, this is ridiculous. And as a basketball fan, are you not entertained? Yeah, you're not getting the Battle of LA, but you just saw basketball history last night. Oh man. Now, to everybody's favorite team to give passes to, and the team that anybody on planet Earth had winning the championship this year. The Los Angeles Clippers, they choked hard in this game. Like, they just choked hard in this series. Like, this was by far the biggest choke job in the playoffs. This is worse than the Bucks losing to Miami. This is worse. This is far worse. Because why? You had guys like Max Kellerman. You had guys like Skip Bayless. You had so many people saying that Kawhi Leonard was already the best player on the planet. And I got to go in on Kawhi Leonard after that terrible performance last night. 6 for 22? 6 for 22? 27% from the field? Like, are you joking me right now? Paul George, 10 points? I've kind of gotten used to Paul George playing like garbage in elimination games. But holy crap. Was that bad? Him and Kawhi were terrible. That was by far one of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen. And Lou Williams was bad. Montrezl Harrell at least scored 20 points. Patrick Beverley, you're not expecting a lot, but I'm surprised Patrick Beverley only had 1 foul in this game. I think he had 1 or 2 fouls in last night's Game 7. Now, what are the excuses now? I want to hear the excuses, because I want to hear the excuses from the Clipper fans now, because this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And as for Kawhi Leonard, You cannot mention Kawhi Leonard as the best player in the NBA anymore. You cannot. You can't mention Kawhi Leonard as the best player in the NBA when you play that horrible in a Game 7. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I'm keeping it 100. If this were LeBron James and he did this bad, the media would be all over it. And I hope it's the same for Kawhi Leonard, because he was the one that had all this attention. You're the one that had to step up, and you came out and you played like this? You played like this? Are you kidding me? You and Paul George combined for 24 points. Jamal Murray outscored the both of you. Like, I'm not even done. And I told you this team was not consistent. I told you this team was overhyped. I told you that I knew Paul George was gonna have a stinker. I did not expect Paul George to have a good game in this Game 7. I did not expect Paul George to show up. I thought Kawhi would at least give you somewhat of a decent performance before they lost to Denver, because I still had Denver winning this game. But oh my God, did Kawhi Leonard play like garbage? He played like absolute garbage. They were hitting shots off the side of the backboard, for God's sake. They were taking shots that were hitting the side of the backboard. The Clippers were not collective defensively. They were horrendous offensively. Doc Rivers did not know how to freaking coach. I already heard takes that some of the Clippers players couldn't play more than 3 minutes because they needed to take a breather. Like, are you kidding me right now? Are you absolutely kidding me right now? Like, no excuses. There's no excuses. This Clippers team choked. You were the title favorite. And you choked in the second round. I joked about this Clippers team losing in the second round, and people kept telling me that I'm not showing the Clippers their respect. Well, keep the same energy. Where's the excuse for this? Where's the excuse for this? They're still not going to the conference finals after all this. You blew a 3-1 lead to a team that had just came back from a 3-1 lead in the first round. Like, this was a joke. This is a joke. This Clippers team choked hard, and there's going to be so many changes because this team's not going to be, this same exact group is not coming back. This same group is not coming back. And now you're looking at all the picks that they traded for Paul George, and then you also traded a 2020 pick for Marcus Morris. And this is what you got. And then, as much as you want to put the blame on the other pieces, like I said again, Kawhi was terrible. Kawhi was absolutely terrible. This is the first time that I think that Kawhi is going to have his name mentioned all week or all offseason long, because this was absolutely terrible. And anybody who rode the Clippers wave, how do you feel now, man? How do you feel now? How do you feel now? Seriously, how do you feel? I know you are probably shaking your head. You're probably in disbelief. You're probably waking up this morning thinking, did the Clippers really just lose in Game 7? And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, the Clippers are going to get roasted for a very long time. They're going to get roasted. So I'm sorry. You know this is only just the beginning. This is only just the beginning of how much this team is going to get cooked. And not just by me, because it might not be in this video, but you're going to see in plenty of other YouTube videos when it comes to the NBA YouTube community that they're going to be roasting the Los Angeles Clippers. But yeah, as far as the best player in the NBA right now, you cannot mention Kawhi Leonard. If I hear anybody mention Kawhi Leonard, all I'm gonna mention is this Game 7 and this playoff series in general, because this was showing how much this series shows you how much Kawhi actually had in Toronto that he didn't get from this Clippers team in this series. When you had guys like Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Danny Green, OG Anunoby, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, when you had guys like that could back you up, that was a tough-minded team. And Kawhi Leonard could lean more on them to show up in a Game 7. He could. It was Kawhi and PG against the rest of the Denver Nuggets last night. Like that was by far the most ridiculous performance I had ever seen. And Kawhi Leonard, you just opened people's eyes with how bad that performance was. You just opened a lot of people's eyes. You're making a lot of people look bad right now. You're making a lot of people look bad. Like, you're making guys like Max Kellerman, Jay Williams, Richard Jefferson, Skip Bayless, Chris Broussard. You're making these guys look horrible right now. This was supposed to be the team to win the NBA championship, according to people. The Los Angeles Lakers are still standing, and now they're going to be facing the Denver Nuggets. I could say a whole lot more about the Los Angeles Clippers and how overrated this team was. Because I just knew that Nikola Jokic was going to be a matchup nightmare for the Clippers. And I was just waiting for Jamal Murray to have a big game. And man, was I happy that happened in a Game 7. I was happy just watching Jamal Murray go off. Jamal Murray has been one of my favorite players to watch in the playoffs. He's been one of my favorite players to watch. And it's just, we're seeing a superstar. We're seeing a superstar right before our very eyes, man. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, they're probably the best 1-2 punch right now, aside from LeBron and Anthony Davis, when it comes to the playoffs right now. Because this accomplishment right here that's a feat in itself. They have the ultimate bragging rights. They wanted this game so bad, and you saw it in their faces, and especially in the way they celebrated. They knew they could beat the Clippers. They knew they had the Clippers folding at this point, because after giving away 2 straight games, having huge double-digit leads, and then you come into a Game 7 and you couldn't even get that big lead anymore. The Denver Nuggets were just like, we got them right where we want them. And they just kept hitting these threes over and over and over again. They lit up the Clippers. Doc Rivers has the most blown 3-1 leads in NBA history. He's blown 3 of them. Doc Rivers has blown 3 series where he's up 3-1. And not for nothing, he's also blown multiple leads where he's up 3-2. I can't. I really can't. To me, Kawhi's legacy is his legacy has taken a huge hit. Doc Rivers is looking like a very overrated coach right now. I don't want to hear nothing more about Paul George. Just that deep Clipper bench turned into absolute dog crap. And just about, I don't know what else to say at this point when it comes to the Clippers, because I'm trying to be nice here, because if I wanted to, I'd probably be swearing like crazy right now. But I know probably a lot of people are going, "What the hell?" and not those exact words, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we got the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets gonna be playing. They're gonna be facing in the Western Conference Finals starting this Friday. My but yeah, my series prediction for the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. I actually want to say Lakers in 6 because I like the matchup between Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic because most likely he's going to be guarding him through the series. The Lakers have had a decent. They've actually played very decent against the Denver Nuggets this season. They've won 3-1 in the regular season matchups. That I think the Lakers collectively and defensively will be a lot sharper than the Clippers were, and their chemistry is more consistent. LeBron is somewhat gonna be LeBron. He might be a little more bothered though with guys like Jeremy Grant and I think Jeremy Grant is probably the only decent defender that could probably guard LeBron decently in this series. But overall, I would like to say Lakers in 6. Lakers have to be somewhat decent from the perimeter. They gotta attack the paint. Anthony Davis has gotta dominate and that. So I guess we just gotta see. Like we just gotta see. Anyway, comment down below. Comment down below whether you think the Clippers choked. Yes, comment down below if you think the Clippers choked. What changes do you think the Clippers need to make in the offseason? And let me know what you thought of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Who you got in the rest of the series between Miami and Boston? Or who you got between the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals? Well, that's it. That's it for this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell if you like basketball content. This is your boy Jay Varsity, and I'm out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseers. Make them bow down.